Hi, I'm Joyce Littel, host of The Quiet Storm on V-103. And you see this big smile on my face. I've been in this music industry and this radio industry for a very long time. You can see by my gray hair. But one thing that brings me a lot of joy is when I get a chance to meet the people that I play. And you all, when this camera hit this brother right here, you're going to know how I feel. I would like to welcome to The Quiet Storm. Is it Giveon?
Giveon.
Giveon. You know, I'm a little country, so I'm gonna make sure I work on that one. But Giveon, it's a pleasure to sit across from you and talk to you about you and your music.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for
I can feel the Southern hospitality already.
Oh yeah, we bring it. You know, we love. You know, over the years, I've had the pleasure of interviewing so many people, and you might not think it, but I get a little nervous. But sometimes when you sit across from artists such as yourself, you help bring like the calmness, and your music even brings the calmness. Although you talk about some things that make you think, but your music brings the calmness, and it's such a pleasure to have this opportunity. So you sort of kind of new on the scene. And for a person such as myself and maybe people who would be viewing this are getting to know you for the first time. So can you tell us about who you are? Tell us about the music that you like to sing and that very unique voice of yours.
Yes. So I'm Giveon. I'm from Long Beach, California. I want to say my love for music comes from the memories that I have associated with certain moments. And the first one I remember is just my mom being in a good mood around the house, playing just rhythm and blues, whether it be Mary J. or Teddy Pendergrass, Luther Vandross. And then sometimes she would infuse some hip hop in there. So the first time I fell in love with music was just associating it with certain moods. And then as I got older, growing up in a house full of boys, there was no real way to express certain emotions besides anger. So I had to find another outlet. So I just started writing. And at a young age, I started to realize how important language was, sonics, and how powerful a song could be.
So you started writing, but when did you know that you had this voice and a unique one at that?
Well, I didn't sound like this until I was like kind of ending high school or fresh out of high school because I had a vocal change. So I started to sound more like my dad because I get my tone from my dad. And I thought it was weird and I thought something was wrong. So I was like, oh yeah, I can't sing anymore because no one I listens to or my mom listens to sounds like this. So I'm gonna just sharpen my pen. And that's when I started to write more. It wasn't until I did a program with just the Grammy Museum and they introduced me to Frank Sinatra. And that's when I realized, I was like, oh, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just my voice is just from a different time.
And I'm going to take advantage
of it.
So when you started writing, what got you in the door?
I'll say, and to me, the door is just being able to do it professionally. I'll say, because I was discovered by my team long before the world. So I'll say what garnered my team's attention was 2018. I had a song over this almost jazzy sample, Grover Washington Jr. And I wrote a song over it, and I was just crooning on just a super jazzy song in 2018 called Garden Kisses. And that's what found me. That's how my team discovered me. But the world discovered me first when I was a feature on Drake's album.
Wow.
And that was just on a masses mainstream level. But I also had my own world already buzzing and bubbling before that.
When that masses stream level happened, because I think I can recall billions on streaming and billions, on views and things like that. And I know it just makes you say, wow.
Yeah.
When you started seeing that, what was your wow moment? What did you say to yourself?
I was kind of confused and nervous because I was like, okay, am I super famous now? And it was during a pandemic. So I didn't understand. I didn't have a gradual transition. So I just assumed that, okay, I can't go to the grocery. I can't do all the normal things. I thought I was like, okay, so how do I navigate fame now? But then I was just like, oh, it was kind of the same thing. As far as like my personal reality, every once in a while, people are going to want to speak to you, especially if your work touched them. So, but once I started seeing the attention of like people are starting to listen, I think there was more of a like about time, because sometimes it could come off as overnight. But for me, I've been working on my craft since I was 11. Even though my voice changed, even though everything was changing and there was different processes, it still was a decade for me. So I was just like, oh, wow. But now in hindsight, I'm like, it could have even took longer.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure you feel blessed in that.
Yeah, it's more of a gratitude now.
Yeah, is in that manner. So I host the Quiet Storm here on V-103. And every night at 10 o'clock, I tell people to relax and unwind and get into the night. So I'm going to say that to you. When it's time for you to relax and unwind, what you doing?
So I'm going to pour me up a little Pinot Noir.
Come on.
Hopefully I have some company. I'll throw on a rom-com. And we'll just speak. I love talking. It's inspiring. And I just get to know a person. And yeah, I'm pretty simple.
Yeah. You won't play Giveon for someone?
Oh, no.
Why not?
I get their requests as well. And I'm like, I remember one time I was hanging out with the lady friend, and she told me to play a song. And I was like, girl, the first voice on that song is my mom. My song called The Beach. And I'm like, I'm not trying to hear her right now. I'm not. But sometimes I'll just have it on some stuff on shuffle, and then I'll come up. And then it's just like, okay, I'll let this song.
I'll let it play.
I'll let it play. But no, I try not to play me.
You took a little time off, if you don't mind me asking why, and what did that time do for you in the development of the new album, Beloved?
It didn't feel off, I'll tell you that much. But I think it allowed me the space to even make an album like this. Because my last album, Give or Take, released in 2022. If I was to drop an album in 2023, there's no way it would be this luxe and rich and expensive. And I wouldn't have had the time to study just certain sounds that I grew up on. So I'll say the biggest thing is the artist development time that it gave me.
Out of all of those artists that you heard, that your parents helped influence you with, which one sat in your heart the most?
Oh, I remember when I first heard Teddy Pendergrass' Love TKO, I was just like, what is this? And then I would go watch him perform it live on YouTube, and I was like, that's it. And that's what caused me to even study Gamble and Huff. And Teddy was in a band first, like the vocalist of, I think, Harold and the Blue Notes.
Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes.
Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. And then I heard I Miss You. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. And I heard all that space they had in their songs and the way the background vocals were layered. And then, so Teddy is he's my pinnacle when it comes to that.
What is Beloved about?
Beloved is autobiographical, human, realistic love story. And it's navigating from the perspective of a young man. And I mean, I guess saying an American young man doesn't necessarily, it's not necessary because sometimes we just all go through the same experiences, but it's just through my lens and my point of view of how relationships or multiple relationships have been working for me. And I think my goal as an artist is just to give my point of view. And if you could relate to it, you can relate. If you like it, you like it. But that external validation comes like second or third. I enjoy it, I appreciate it. But number one is raw and honest in my perspective.
Let me tell you, Giveon, I'm in my 60s. I try to wear it well. And I know you're single right now, as I can't tell. Mm-hmm. But when I was listening to that album and the 20s came up, I'm like, it took me back to those times. And what you were singing about made me say, you know what? Mm-hmm. You messed up my 20s, and I was thinking about those people. So even in that song and some of the others, what were some of the things that you were thinking about and the messages that you want people to receive?
Yeah, so even with my process, it starts with in two ways. It's going to be either a journal entry that I wrote down, or it's going to start just like this. Like a conversation that I'm having with a friend or someone. And that's how I get the most honest, I guess, talking points out of me. And then I'm like, is this conversation too personal or should I share it? Because 20s was one of those ones where I wasn't sure if I was gonna share it. I would always just make the songs just to even play it around the house for myself or at family gatherings. But I was like, I think I should share this one. And I think I should play this for people. And then once people started to catch, I guess, just the sample of people I played it for before I released it.
Heads were bobbing and feet were tapping.
And the thing that I noticed is, so I'll be like, so what do you think? The first thing they would speak about is themselves. Mm-hmm. And then the song. And that's the goal. Like when people hear that song, they hear it's like they reminisce first. It's like they get lost in the song, and then be like, "Oh yeah, the song is good," but it's like, yeah, it takes me back. So I kind of wanted the album to feel like that too. I want people to hear it and just process it and relate it to their lives or someone they know, and I think those are the best albums too. To a point where it's not even a Giveon album anymore. It's just music.
It's for the one that's hearing it, because it took me back.
Yeah.
when I was listening to it. Of course, I could sit here and be with you for hours because I just love the vibe and you got me so relaxed. So let's talk about the single I Can't Tell. Tell us about that one.
So I Can Tell, and this is like my first time today actually saying what the vision that I was trying to, I guess, paint. The song is a full nonverbal conversation that I had. It was just full eye contact, and it was just quiet. And the song is pretty much me writing what the conversation was going on in both of our heads. And I was just able to just read just her energy and her body language. And then I later on found out that she had a situation. And then I was like, yeah, but I could just tell by your body language that, no, you don't.
Giveon, that's deep.
Yeah.
Now, I was first introduced to that song by viewing your video, which you look real sexy on it. You look real good.
Thank you. That's one of the first ones I had. I had a little tank top on in there.
Yeah, I know. All right, don't take me there. But after I viewed the video that had over 1 million views within a few days, I started reading the comments. And I don't know if you read your comments, but I'm gonna read a few of them to you.
Okay, I try not to.
And I want you to comment on the comment.
Okay.
So after that video played, some of the comments were,
I'm scared.
Giveon, he don't make music, he makes art.
Oh, okay, that's a good one. Thank you. I mean, yeah, to me, because art is it doesn't have a definitive definition to people. So to me, my version of art is just, I guess, just being able to invoke certain emotions at will. Because that song instantly puts you in that certain mood or that certain vibe. So I thank you.
All right, number 2, I'm not done. It's some good ones.
Okay.
This one says, it's finally here. The GOAT of R&B in this generation is back.
Yeah, I've been having that conversation. Well, not me. I've been seeing it about just like who's pushing the genre forward and who's just keeping a pulse in it. And I'm not one to be like, yes, it's me. But when people say it, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Because I just want the whole genre as a whole to be elevated. Because if it's just one person, then that's not doing this space any favors.
Yeah, for someone who have been hosting the Quiet Storm here on V-103 over 30 years, you know, it gives me pleasure and joy to know that an artist such as yourself is providing that kind of quality music that keeps me with a job and playing great music. So thank you for that. And this last one says, I just love Giveon. My obsession with him and his music isn't healthy. You doing
could
something
be obsessed
to that person.
Right. You could be obsessed with the music for sure. With me, I don't. It depends on what that look like. Like, you ain't gonna be outside my house, ain't you? But other than that, thank you. And I'll keep trying to make. Well, I will keep making just quality for you to obsess over.
Yeah. Go back and read your comments, all of them.
I'm scared of them.
904 were excellent, and all of them said that they love you and they love your music. You know, so keep the smile, keep the music,
I love
keep
them
it,
too.
keep it coming.
Okay.
You know, you've been around, you've been doing your thing. My last question to you is, where do you see this music journey of yours going? What is the ultimate? Because you've been nominated for 7 Grammys over the course of your music life now. But where do you see yourself 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Where is that music journey for you going? Or at least want to go?
Yeah, I think, because I've always been one person, I can only focus on one craft at a time. So for music, the biggest goal is to just leave it in a better place than I found it. Like even just rhythm and blues as a whole. Like hopefully when I'm finished, I guess, not finished, but if I get distracted by other projects, just to make sure I'm just increasing the standard of what we even are gonna accept. We're not gonna accept just people singing over auto-tune and beats. Not after this album. I think we're gonna want live instrumentation. We're gonna want arrangements.
Right.
We're gonna want raw emotive vocals. And I just wanna just keep doing that, because otherwise I'll start to get lazy myself. Especially if people are all gonna consume it. I'll probably be like, okay, I don't gotta spend 20 hours working on this one song. I'll just do it for an hour, blah, blah, blah. So no, I wanna keep raising it. And I wanna kind of move it back to being more analog, where people are sitting with musicians and sitting around and actually having jam sessions. But eventually, I think my calling really is just storytelling in general. And I think that I could see myself ending up just turning some of this stuff into a film or motion picture, just so I could have more time to tell the stories that I'm trying to tell.
Your last camera shot on V-103, what would you like to tell your family, your viewing family, and your listeners? What would you like to share and tell them?
I want to say, first off, thank you for listening. I want to say, any song you ever hear from me or album is all autobiographical. It's all true. So as much as I'm learning myself through this, you're learning about me as well. And it's going to be interesting to go through the albums to see the growth and just see how I'm changing and navigating life. So, and it's still early, so you still have time to invest in my story as an artist, but also as a man. So
Thank you for making my day.
thank you for having me.
Much success to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.